because we took a decision that we want the show to be about the fun and to be about the entertainment and for it to be about really creating a big platform for our patrons and our exhibitors. And I'd like to commend the team because this year the records reflect that we have the largest number in terms of exhibits in over the years, and this shows that we are growing from strength to strength. The Kingston and St. Andrew Association of Brand Societies, JS, today we celebrate the 21st staging of our Parish Agricultural and Industrial Show, Agrofest, under the theme Grow What We Eat and Eat What We Grow. This as a part of our commitment to celebrate the work of our farmers in helping the reshaping and the transformation of the Jamaican economy. Kingston, I want to correct this perception that there's no agriculture taking place in Kingston and St. Andrew. Kingston and St. Andrew has over 7,000, in fact 7,011 registered farmers on the RADA database. This represents 3.8% of the total number of registered farmers, which now stand at 182,954 at the end of March 2017. So based on the number of farmers, we qualify as an agricultural parish. The Kingston and St. Andrew produces 8,328 metric tons of the 571,441 metric tons of crop production in 2011, which represents 1.46%. So we are over 1% of the production, so we qualify as an agricultural parish. When we compare the statistics of 2014, there is a decrease of production in the parish by some 10,000 metric tons. And Ms. Martin and ourselves is working on correcting that. But one of the major reasons for that reduction was due to the impact of drought in 2014 and 2015. But again, the overall production of the country exceeded 600,000 metric tons in 2016, and the production in the parish trended up as well. In just continuing to make the point, to set a basis of some calls that I will make later on, Kingston St. Andrew is the producer of the best coffee in the world, the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. And we have approximately 2,800 of the Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee farmers. There are 6,000 registered farmers in the Blue Mountain. The production of the Blue Mountain coffee in the parish of St. Andrew, East Rural and West Rural, represents 40%. And therefore, 40% of the 25 million US dollars exported and earned in 2016, 2017 was by the farmers in St. Andrew. I want you to commend and clap all the farmers in St. Andrew. So all those who are saying that there's no agriculture in St. Andrew, I want to borrow a terminology from someone, mash down that line. Our show this year is held against the background of tremendous growth in the agricultural sector, in particular domestic agriculture. In 2016, which grew to 668,000 metric tons after realizing second, third, and fourth quarter growth. This, we think, is in keeping with the transformational campaign that the Jamaica Agricultural Society launched in 2003. Custos, when we called to attention and created a conversation about growing what we eat and eating what we grow. And let us just share the statistics. In 2003, our domestic crop production was 491,000 metric tons. In 2016, that production grew to 668,000 metric tons. Let's do the maths. That is a growth rate by over 35%. And I say not only have we grown our domestic crop production, but we have significantly reduced our imports of food. 2016 over 2015 by some 10 billion Jamaican dollars. And I want to say, give a round of applause to the farmers of Jamaica. 250,000 of them, and fisher folks across the length and breadth of Jamaica. I make this point because it is time for us to stop treating agriculture as the Cinderella of the Jamaican economy. Just before independence, the contribution of agriculture to GDP was over 12%. Last year, we are averaging 6.6%. And Costas, the JAS believes that the political process and our governments since independence has not given the agricultural sector the type of support that is required to match the level of output and hard work of our Jamaican farmers. And against that background, we're going to make a few calls today. We decided that, notwithstanding the weather, we would go through with this Agrofest program because of the challenges that our farmers have gone through over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Challenge number one, and I share with the farmers from St. Elizabeth and Manchester, where the beet armyworm has cost the agricultural sector in excess of $100 million and has affected over 250 farmers and close to 300 acres of land. And the call from the Jamaica Agricultural Society today is that we are calling on our government to invest more in research and development so we can build our capacity to deal with the whole issue of the management of pest and disease. It is important. The beet armyworm has been with us for about 5 years, and every time we have damp weather, it decimates the farmers and the agricultural sector. And we cannot continue like that. And therefore we are asking for Boggles to invest more in research. Rather, and the JAS has done an excellent job to engage and train our farmers. But we need to find a long-term strategy to deal with how we manage pests and disease. And I want to extend the call to the farm supply companies. This business is worth billions of dollars. And I'm saying that some of the profits that you are making from selling to the farmers must now be reinvested in trying to deal with the issue of pests and disease. The other sector that is very close to me is coffee. The leaf rust has decimated the Blue Mountain crop production, whereby last year we produced 240,000 boxes. And because of leaf rust, the production will be below 200,000 boxes, which is moving from 2.4 million pounds to less than 2 million pounds. And this is an industry that generates an average of 30 million US dollars for Jamaica and touches the lives, lowland and Blue Mountain, of close to 120,000 individuals. So we have to find a way to deal with those issues. And therefore the JAS is calling for more funding for research and development so we can deal with the issues and the binding constraints that is affecting the agricultural sector. The second issue is over the last 2 weeks. Let me just set a base for this. Based on the Bank of Jamaica and the PIOJ, they indicated that the economy grew last fiscal period by 2.4%. And I want the farmers to listen to this, because a lot of people don't understand the type of contribution that farmers are making to the development of the Jamaican economy. And I want to send home a message loud and clear that without the farmers' performing in terms of growing production and spreading diversity of crop, Jamaica corner dog. 2.4%. The national growth production for agriculture had to be revised downward from 15.4% at the end of 2016 to 11.4%. But listen to this. That one revision alone moved the macroeconomic domestic growth from 2.4% to about 1.6%. You see how critical agriculture is to the development of Jamaica. And it is against that background I'm going to make the following calls. The flood rains of the last 2 weeks has decimated the agricultural sector. When I speak to the head of the All Island Banana Growers Association, they said that the effects is in excess of 50%. The head of the All Island cane farmers said when you put together the loss from fertilizer apply, which equates to about 100 million, and the fact that some of the cane can't be reaped, and the effects of the roads in their community, the loss to the cane industry is in the region of $2 billion. 2 billion Jamaican dollars. The coffee sector in the hills has sustained loss. Cash crop is almost wiped out. We have a situation where livestock were just drowned. Birds, poultry, pigs, goats. This last 2 weeks has caused Honorable Custos, farmers and patrons, significant and devastating effect on the agricultural sector. And it is on that basis that the Jamaica Agricultural Society will be, one, we commend the Minister of Agriculture for commissioning an assessment to be done by RADA, and we will await those numbers, and we are supporting those efforts. But when the cabinet meets on Monday morning, there must be an immediate strategy to support, to develop a national agricultural relief support program to support all the farmers who have been affected by this disaster. And that includes the delivery of seeds tools, the provisions of chemical, and also to inject some labor support to those farmers in order to allow them to get back on track quickly so that it can mitigate against any negative impact that it will have on the agriculture sector and by extension the growth of the economy. And in that same basin, we'd like the government to sign off on a national crop insurance scheme for our farmers. So when we have situation like that or like this, you can go to such a scheme, get quick funding, and assist the farmers to get back on track. We can't wait until next week or next month for the farmers to get some support. We need some immediate support to be rolled out to the farmers. And these support must also include, Ms. Martin, the farmers in the hills and the valley of St. Andrew, because there are real farmers in there. We'd also like to see the government review our involvement in the Caribbean Catastrophic Insurance Scheme. And farmers, let me tell you what that means. It means for the last 10 years, the government of Jamaica has been contributing our money to a scheme that we have not been able to draw down 1 red cent under that scheme, even though you see roadblock and you see people flooding out. And we are saying if the parameters of that scheme cannot be reviewed in such a way that Jamaica and the Jamaican farmers and the people get benefit, then that scheme should be reviewed. The parameters should be renegotiated, or let us go into self-insurance instead. The final area is the devastation to our roads. The devastation to our roads. And we have to find a way to allocate resources to deal with the agricultural road network, because a failure to deal with this will hamper in a significant way the path of production and the stability of our economy. The road network is in a terrible state, and I think that we should take this opportunity to engage a review that would also include the reintroduction, former Mayor Harris, of the Length Man program, where you find the farmers and the rural people get involved in the cleaning and the maintaining of water tables and drains. So when we have disasters of this nature, then it will not lead to total and absolute destruction of the rural infrastructure. I conclude by reminding us that June 1 is the beginning of the hurricane season. And that is going to run between June 1 and the end of November. And therefore it is going to be critical for whatever infrastructure work needs to be done. We need to roll it out now as a part of the strategies to ensure that we don't have a further reduction in growth if we have flood or we have an active hurricane season. So Agrofest is saluting our farmers. We're saluting the fact that the performance of the agricultural sector are in keeping with the fundamentals of the Eat What We Grow campaign. This confirms that the agricultural sector continues to be a game changer for the Jamaican economy. So as we celebrate Agrofest 2017, Would like to thank all our sponsors, all our farmers, our patrons, our stakeholders for their support and their continued commitment. The continued development of the agricultural sector and the development of the rural economy will reap rich reward for the Jamaican economy and for our people. So as we celebrate Agrofest today, let us continue to enjoy the excellent commitment to work and continue to salute our farmers for their tremendous support to nation building. I would like to thank those who have served the Agrofest product for over the last 21 years. There are some people who are here. They were here when we had the first Agrofest program, and we want to commend them. Rather, the 4-H, the Coffee Industry Board, and there are members of the ABS who were here when we launched the first agricultural and industrial show. In fact, which was originally started way back but had a break, and we now are now hitting 21. We are now mature and working well. I'd like to commend all the branches and the queens who have participated and to say you all are winners. And I'd like to really wish you all the best and ensure that we work together for the foreseeable future. All of you exhibitors, you're going to form a database going forward where we keep in touch with you throughout the year to get your suggestions and to ensure that when we come back here next year, we have at least a 25% growth in the participation of the exhibitors and more patrons to come. Finally, I'd like to commend 3 of the officers of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the parish manager of St. Anne, Miss Jody Crosdale, our own parish manager, Miss Hamilton, and Miss Clennon, the National Farm Queen. As we speak, they are on a flight between New York and China, where they will be nominated from the Jamaica Agricultural Society to go and study the bamboo industry in China and to come back and extend that training to the farmers and colleagues so we can move the bamboo industry and create another industry in Jamaica. Can we give them a round of applause and hope that they will represent us well. So thank you once again for supporting all the sponsors. And may we enjoy an excellent afternoon. And may we enjoy the dancing that will be the Farmers' Hour. And we can certainly celebrate in a significant way the attributes and the contribution of our Jamaican farmers. Long live our farmers. Long live the Jamaica Agricultural Society. Long live Jamaica, land we love, as we eat what we grow and grow what we eat. Can I hear a round of applause for the 250,000 farmers and fisher folks that continue to work to feed our people and to save foreign exchange. Thank you very much. May God bless you all.